Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another video podcast of Political News Time. I am your host, Alex Mayers. I'm actually a little bit early this morning because I woke up very early this morning and I woke up feeling really good. So let's see, what do we want to talk about today? Well, let's go ahead and pick up from yesterday. Yesterday, wasn't it a little bit strange that the challenger for the Republican presidential nomination this time around, Joe Walsh, anyone else find it strange that he could essentially be Jeffrey Epstein's doppelganger? I'm somebody who does believe that there's a certain power structure to this world that isn't acknowledged. I'm not going to say that there's an Illuminati, but there could be. But I think that this whole Joe Walsh thing is somebody's idea of a really sick joke. Because when it comes to the Jeffrey Epstein situation, that severely traumatized a very large percentage of America. So now you're going to tell me that throughout these presidential nomination primaries, we're going to have to look at a man who so closely resembles Epstein, who allegedly committed suicide, that it's just incredibly uncanny. When I edit this podcast, I'm going to put a side-by-side of these two men's headshot photographs side by side because it looks like the same guy. And I was just saying in a very brief podcast yesterday that I'm wondering, are they related? Is that actually Epstein's son that maybe he doesn't even know about? Because there was a news item that came about right before Epstein committed suicide, stating that he was obsessed with eugenics. I'm talking like World War II Nazi-style eugenics. And he had this very warped and twisted plan to impregnate a multitude of women at that ranch of his. I'm wondering if he did it because there didn't seem to be a date as to when he was talking about that. Now, I looked at the age difference between these two men, and I think it's about 8 years. So I don't think it could be Epstein's son. But we don't know what kind of breakthroughs they've come forth with when it comes to cloning. Maybe they can progress age because, I mean, down to their foreheads, their hairlines, their face shape, hair color, eye shape. Joe Walsh and Epstein are doppelgangers. It's very strange. I wonder, was this planned? So that's something I wanted to talk about because that's a bit of odd political news. But as a side note, I want everyone to follow the Twitter account BlackWomenViews. Okay? I don't know the operator of that Twitter account, but I do like what she's doing. Actually, she put out a tweet just yesterday, which was brought to my attention by Dimphna Saints. Dimphna Saints is who let me know about Black Women Views. And Black Women Views appears to be a political activist. And she is very upset when it comes to a lot of the routine bashing of Kamala Harris.
Black social media has been infiltrated. And I'm not just talking about bots. I'm talking about infiltrated with disinformation and misinformation. In particular, as it relates to Senator Kamala Harris, she has been the target of so much disinformation, smears, fake news, all of that stuff. And it's really sickening to watch how bad it's taken root within our Black social media networks. We have to stop being what I call meme form, which is you see a meme and that's all you need to know to make you feel like you know it all. You don't know where the meme came from. You don't know if anything in the meme is facts, but you saw a meme and so boom, I know it. You saw a caption, I know. You didn't click on a link, you didn't click on the video, but now you know all there is to know. We have to stop that. We have to stop being belligerently ignorant, which means you're misinformed. But when confronted with the facts, you're going to stick with that misinformation. It's okay to learn something new. It's okay to have not known, and then now you know, and you can go for it. You can do better. You can say better. That's okay, people. And, you know, this is so troubling to me because there was an organization that staged a protest against Kamala in North Carolina. Only 10 people showed up, so Twitter is not real life. But what disturbs me the most about it is not the fact that there was a protest, but the basis of that. I looked through the Twitter account and there was nothing but lies, smears. So I'm thinking, did you guys really stage a protest off of misinformation, disinformation, and smears? Really? You believe this stuff and then you went on and had a whole ass protest behind it? How does that make sense? So I'm issuing this challenge to any organization that purports to be for the advancement of Black people. Come talk to me if you got a problem with Kamala Harris's record. I will debate you. I'm a Black woman. I will debate you. Okay, I'll debate you live on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you choose. Let's go toe to toe, me and you, because I have the facts. I'm very confident in the facts. I have receipts. I've been posting about it for months. And so if you want to put stuff out there, be prepared to debate me on it, because what you're saying is not true and I'm tired of it. And we're going to not just talk about the smears, we're going to talk about her accomplishments too, because there are plenty of those, and that's what people don't want you to talk about. They don't want you to talk about all the things that she's done that's positive. They only want you to talk about and spread smears. And so we're going to do better, Black people. Kamala Harris can win if we stop this crabs in a barrel mentality and get our act together.
If you want to read about that, just go on over to Political News Time. The headline is, if you have a problem with presidential candidate Kamala Harris's record, @BlackWomenViews is ready and willing to debate you to set the record straight. And if you click on that headline on Political News Time, you will get to know BlackWomenViews. She is a lovely young woman, appears to be African American, and she is out to defend Kamala Harris. And I think that that's wonderful. So go BlackWomenViews. Like I said, if you ever need a moderator for your debates, I'm right here. Just let me know. Now, the primary topic, I think, of today's podcast is going to be Cory Booker. Yes. Now, if you watch my previous podcast, either on Political News Time or Alexandra Mayer's Live, you'll hear that I've been a little bit hard on Cory Booker, okay? But today we are going to say a lot of positive things about Cory Booker, because there's a lot of positive things about him. I mean, honestly, if he were to be elected president, would I be okay with it? Absolutely. Absolutely, because he seems to be of very good intention and actually, from my perspective, exactly what a politician should be. You know, it's always perplexed me for years that we tend to elect politicians, in many cases at least, who are very out of touch with society and with the majority of people who are middle class to poor within the United States of America, at least today. But one thing I really like about Cory Booker is that he lives like right in the gist of it within Newark, New Jersey. Okay? He lives in a predominantly Black neighborhood, and when you listen to him speak, he often likes to bring it up, but it's a good thing that he does, because he knows what's going on in the minority neighborhoods. And he's a minority. He is African American. He is very aware of just the day-to-day life of the people in such neighborhoods. And that's the kind of person that I would be more comfortable with leading this country. Not someone who's always lived in, you know, some 5-star upscale neighborhood who's never set foot in a ghetto before. Actually, I have found it interesting that hashtag ADOS movement has been very critical of Cory Booker, just as they've been very critical of Kamala Harris. And that's why I think that Talib Green is on the money with that essay that he wrote that I just did a reading of yesterday in regards to that hashtag ADOS movement in actuality being a GOP or Republican tool meant to divide Black voters. Because here's something that you got to keep in mind when you look at Black voters versus the hashtag ADOS movement. Because what does hashtag ADOS stand for? American Descendants of Slaves. But not everybody who's a Black voter is a descendant of slaves. Got to think about that. And think about that long and hard, too. I am a descendant of slaves, even though the bullies of the hashtag ADOS movement, all of a sudden, without even ever speaking to me or researching me, are trying to say that I'm a Caribbean immigrant. I've never even been to the Caribbean for a long amount of time. I was born in America, as were my parents, and as were the majority of their parents. Okay? So anyways, this ADOS movement is definitely trying to create division within the black community so that, from my perspective, the Republicans can benefit from that by having people within the black community feeling disenfranchised from their fellow Democrats and going over to the Republican side, and also due to quite possibly people who are American descendants of slaves, you know, thinking, okay, Democrats don't seem to really represent me or be there for me, so let me try to be a Republican. I mean, it's like a double-edged sword that they're using with this ADOS movement. So I think that's why it actually needs to be completely extinguished. But getting back to Cory Booker, like I said, Cory Booker, it seems, has been extensively criticized by the ADOS movement, and that's not good. But one thing I do like about Cory Booker is that he seems very attuned to what happened with the Democrats losing the state of Michigan. And he cites voter suppression of African Americans when it comes to that, because Cory Booker is very aware of the power of the black vote, especially the power of the black women vote. And this coming election, you know, a lot of people are very nervous about there being some sort of voter fraud or voter suppression, because there very feasibly could be. So it does seem that Cory Booker is very attuned to that problem. He's on it. So I think that we all do need to support him. Make sure that you follow him on Twitter. Make sure that you read up on what he stands for, what his stances are and whatnot. But when I was thinking about Cory Booker this morning, and I don't know why I thought about this, but I think that there has been an orchestrated movement to suppress him and against him. And one mainstream movie I want to cite, and a lot of you are going to think I'm wild when I say this, but I'm going to cite the movie Black Panther when it comes to creating adversity against Cory Booker. Reason being is that particular movie, Black Panther, a lot of people don't want to say it, but just as American descendants of slaves, ADOS, is divisive when it comes to the black community, so is Black Panther. Actually, when I walked out of that movie, I was so angry. I have a video of me yelling in my car about how angry I was in regards to the themes of Black Panther. But I almost kind of wonder, was that movie designed to lay the foundation for this hashtag ADOS movement to create divisiveness within black voters and within the black community internationally? Anyone who is a descendant of Africans? I think it was. Because that movie definitely depicted the Wakandans as being incredibly elitist and insensitive to the plight of the African American. They killed Killmonger at the end, who was half African American and half Wakandan. There's a lot about Cory Booker, actually, that reminds me of the character of Killmonger. Really is. So I think I'll go ahead and leave this particular podcast at that. But thanks everyone for watching this podcast this morning. If you have any questions in the future, you can always email me at politicalnewstime@gmail.com. Remember, you can always watch the archives of this show on politicalnewstime.com and pntlive.net. Have a great day, everybody. Be productive. Educate yourself. Never take anything at face value, because trust me when I say, each and every person out there really is trying to trick you. See you later. Bye-bye.